Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our pre-eviction version of Big Brother 22 All-Stars live feed spoilers. We are a handful of hours away now from the eviction show tonight. We will go through, of course, are there any last-second changes? Is Kaysar still being evicted? Also, was there a plane banner in that time that the feeds were down on Monday? We have a lot to go through here, so we're
Yep.
going to dive in. And before we do, if you guys do like this video, subscribe, give this video a like, support us further, hit that notification bell, check out our Patreon. We have live chats over there, and also our store, t-shirts, mugs, phone cases, other cool stuff. We hope you take a look at that.
Okay, so we've had multiple wall yellers
Yes.
now, and I already went over how I feel about that. I'm over that, and I'm ready to just move back into the game. But fans are not. So there's now been allegedly a banner that said Nicole is a liar. Kevin was talking about it right before the feeds, of course, cut out, where it seems he was sitting there talking to Davon, talking about this banner that said Nicole is a liar. And right before the feeds went out, Davon was kind of like, is that what it said? So there was obviously something there. But it is kind of interesting that outside of that, there hasn't been that much talk about it.
This is one of the weirdest things that have come out over the past little while since we last did a video, because it's like this supposedly would have happened on Monday night while the feeds were down for a long time. And it's like, the Big Brother house, it's in the Los Angeles area, and I didn't see anything from anybody in LA or Studio City or Burbank, like any of these places being like, hey, look at a plane. Why does that plane say Nicole is a liar in the background? Like, even if you didn't follow Big Brother, I would have thought there would have been at least a couple of just like normal people that would have like recorded this and just been like,
What
what
is
is
this? Yeah, for sure. It is kind of strange that there's nothing. And the only thing I can possibly think of is that we did have a yeller that was video recorded themselves or somebody video recording
Yeah.
them at the wrong studio, so they got the big wah wah wah, and maybe they didn't want to do that again just in case.
Would be really, how weird would it have been if this was just some like random person who got his heart broken by some woman named Nicole? It's like, Nicole is a liar, this will be my revenge, and it sinks Nicole's game on the show.
Yeah, I just, yeah, like I've said, I'm really done with this stuff. I'm really hoping that this will be the end of it, because I don't want this to end up being a situation that we do end up having like a winner that's like Kevin or Ian or Bailey or Davon, someone who's been fed information 4 times now, win the game, and then have it be kind of a, well, did they really play that great a game, or were they just fed information 4, 5, 6 times? However, many more times is going to come. I would like Ian and everyone to just have a chance to figure some stuff out. They are smart enough to be able to do it. It may take a little bit of time, but they can get there. They don't need your help.
I've already been full hypocritical on this subject all week, so I will continue to have my stance of I'm grateful for the one time that it actually influenced the game a little bit, but I don't need any more. I'm done with it. I'm glad that it was dramatic, but I do fundamentally I do agree with you. I'm just talking out of both sides of my mouth because I've been bored with a lot of this season in terms of drama.
Yeah, when it first happened and it, actually changed the game a little bit, I was hypocritical too. I was like, oh, I'm all part of the bandwagon. Yeah, let's get this game going because it's really boring. But the more that I've thought about it, the more I've just gotten back to being myself, where I really like Big Brother when there's no influence. I don't like the pre-gaming. I think they could have dealt with that if they had maybe done a twist like season 14 where they put people into the teams of 4, and then because you can kind of figure out who was going to be pre-gaming. It's
Yeah.
not a shock that Cody and Nicole would be working together. They played together. So put them on separate teams, make the teams of 4, and force them to play against each other for the first 4 weeks. This could have broken some of that up.
Yeah, I think so, and it's that pregame thing that probably frustrated people so much to the
Yes.
point that they were like, well, we need to yell at the wall or put a plane banner or anything else. But, unfortunately, no plane banner, no wall yeller, nothing, save for maybe like Julie Chen announcing like a last second hashtag save Kaysar twist is going to help Kaysar. He seems done. He knows
Yeah.
he's done. It's all over. Insert sad face here.
Yeah, I think this is the end for Kaysar. And Kaysar is not doing himself any favors as he's getting ready to leave the house, because there were some conversations that Kaysar was having with like Bailey and Ian and stuff about the idea that maybe he was going to blow up some games on the way out. He was talking about the fact that he figured out that there's two kind of major alliances going on, which is true, and that there are some people that are in both of them, which is also true. And for some reason, he's decided to share this information with Christmas, who is part of all that kind of mess over there. So that is not great.
It's not great, and I think that, at least as of this recording, like, I haven't seen Christmas pass it around to every person, but I think in general, Kaysar, I love Kaysar. He's one of my favorite just people, human beings. Like, I could have a conversation with Kaysar outside of Big Brother for like hours and I would probably be really, really happy, but as a player, he just was never focused enough, and I think you're seeing that again here. He's too all over the place. He sometimes gives advice to the wrong people. He doesn't know when to sort of lay back. And yeah, he was really hurt early on by being in there with an instant ally with Janelle, and they were targeted so easily by other people. But I just think Kaysar's never been a great social player when it comes to understanding these dynamics. There's a part of me that's like, I wish Kaysar had campaigned more. I wish he would have done this, that, or whatever. But it's also kind of like, well, honestly, what could Kaysar have really done at this point? I don't have a great idea, and I like to think I usually do.
I just don't think there is anything else he can do. And because he's not having such a great read on the game, it's difficult. Because I really like Kaysar too.
Yeah.
But he's not, like, him figuring out about the fact that there are two alliances and that there are a couple people that are part of both of them is something that's pretty smart, that he mostly did figure out on his own. Yes, there was people that were yelling, but nobody yelled that. That's something that he has kind of figured out. However, he's telling so many people about it, and with the fact that he doesn't actually have any real alliances in this house, telling everybody is not really helping, because you know, he has now told Christmas, and Christmas is someone who is part of a lot of stuff. Now, I don't know if this is Kaysar not being able to read the room, or the fact that Christmas has played this kind of game where nobody really knows where she stands, but the alliances know where she stands. She has done a very good job of making herself not look like she's part of an alliance, even though she is. That people like Kaysar would then tell her stuff.
I'm really divided on this whole Kaysar deliver a big epic speech before he goes, because the drama part of me, the same part of me that liked the wall yeller, which is kind of a dangerous part of me, it's like, yes, Kaysar, go for it, go for the jugular, say everything you want, throw everybody under the bus, give me that entertainment. But on the flip side, there's a part of me that just kind of wants Kaysar to just go out, say thanks everybody, have an easy out of the house experience, mostly because I want there to be a situation where maybe a Cody or a Nicole or somebody else is sort of like, well, let's just sort of let Ian have this HOH. Like, let's not gun for this HOH as much, because maybe Ian will do what we want. Like, I want these people to not try as hard so that Ian can really do everything that Kaysar wants to do metaphorically in his speech.
I agree. Kaysar's speech is not going to do anything. Nobody listens to him, even if he's telling the truth, or if he's telling a lie, it doesn't matter. It's, is Kaysar saying something? Just, people aren't listening to him. But because of the wall yeller, because of the banner, now I'm really worried that Cody and Nicole have been incentivized to play for this HOH really hard, harder than they would have. And so while the wall yeller has had an effect that other people are catching on, it is also making them extremely paranoid.
Yeah.
And if Kaysar gives this big speech where he's like, oh, there's this two alliances and I think it's Cody and Nicole that are going back and forth, that's not going to help anything, and I think it might make it worse.
I hate to put, like, all the pressure in the world on Ian, because Ian does not deserve having all the pressure in the world put on him, but I do think that he is so important today, like, incredibly important, because I do think Cody and Nicole will probably try to at least do well in this HOH. Like, if they're there near the end, though, with a Kevin or a Bailey, maybe they don't feel comfortable with them winning. But if they're there with an Ian, and Ian has tried to make them feel comfortable, even tried a lot with Nicole to put her mind at ease that he's not hearing a lot of stuff overnight, then maybe they will be okay with letting Ian have this for Ian to then unleash the greatest move of the season so far.
If Ian actually pulls this off, I'm going to be on the floor. It's going to be pretty epic. Yeah. But Ian has put in the work with Cody and Nicole to make them feel really comfortable, to be able to give him the HOH and that they would be okay. Because, if they're going to be up there with, a Bailey, they don't know for sure what's going to go on. Bailey is not coming after Cody right now, but she is coming after Nicole.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to do the HOH prediction early here.
Okay.
Ian is going to be the next HOH. I feel it. I want it. I'm being optimistic. This is not full unicorn land because Ian is competent in competitions. And if Nicole or Cody doesn't try as hard, I think he can do it. We deserve this, everyone.
I would really like to see it happen, mostly because I think it's going to stop a lot of the wall yellers. That if we just get Ian in some sort of power and he can make a move, everybody can just stop and the game can just go back to the way that it is. Because as it's going right now, it is just ramping up and that backyard is going to end up getting taken. And then I feel like 99% sure that next year this house is going to be moved.
I just want to still have live feeds. And whenever these people yell or whatever else, we lose the live feeds now for hours on end. So that's where I really am with it. The thing about the HOH, though, is that we had kind of sort of an endurance for the veto yesterday. So I don't feel super confident that it's going to be an endurance now. It could be some sort of questions that I haven't seen them have to practice anything. So we're kind of a little bit just out in the wilderness here on what this HOH comp is even going to be.
Yeah, my prediction is because Memphis is hurt.
Yeah.
That, I mean, they do put all their competitions together in advance and they can just kind of, I would guess, put out whichever ones they feel that they want to put out. But because he's hurt, and I think they want to be able to make it fair for everyone. If they were planning an endurance or something like that, that maybe they would just switch it out with a watch this video. Okay, was his shirt red, yellow, or green? Okay, give me your answers, or true or false. That they might just bring that competition in to make it fair.
Yeah, and I think beyond just that competition, I think another part of it is there a twist that's going to be happening on Sunday?
Like it's happening.
Because if there's no twist, then they're not going to give us the result of the HOH on the show tonight. They're going to push it off to Sunday because they'll need content for the Sunday show.
Yeah.
So I hope there is a twist. It's a really weird situation, though, about who could be the targets here now moving forward. Because, if Ian wins, maybe he does this. Bailey and Davon, there's a lot of people that are frustrated with them or are claiming they're frustrated with them. DANI, in particular, has been trying to throw them under the bus.
DANI has been working really hard to throw them under the bus, but the problem is we said this yesterday, there has been a Slick Six meeting.
Yeah.
So DANI wasn't invited. So I just feel if someone from the Slick Six is HOH, like a Cody or Tyler or something like that, I just don't think they're going to take a shot at Bailey or Davon right now. They may just deal with a Kevin or a David or someone else. They would have to show their hands, and I don't think they're ready to do that week 5.
Yeah, I feel like one situation that could unfold on this coming week is if Ian does win, maybe there's still a situation where DANI gets taken out, and I think a lot of people would sort of feel like, well, did Ian really get what he wanted out of that? Because some people, like Tyler in particular, wanted DANI out anyway, and just, my feeling in response to that is, it wouldn't be perfect for the sense of like dramatically shaking up the game, but DANI still considers herself right now a number on that side. And I think if you can just do something to preserve your own numbers, and DANI's clearly not a number over on that Ian or Davon or Bailey side, you're still doing okay. I still think Tyler's probably on the best path to win this game, though, because I think Tyler is just so good at it.
I do as well, and that's why my prediction for this HOH is probably Tyler.
I am really curious. I say this now and watch Tyler do something that makes me really mad, but I would actually be really interested by Tyler HoH because he has been wanting DANI out.
Yeah, he has. Would
Tyler go through with that? Would he sort of fall in line with some past alliances?
He might be worried it's a little too early.
He might be, and that's where we are. The problem is this week, because we've all known for pretty much forever that Kaysar was going to be going, is a lot of what we're seeing a symptom of people being really, really bored. And now that they have power, maybe they're just going to revert back to being conservative again because that sense of boredom and just talking up ideas that may or may not happen may not be relevant anymore.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of people, fans out there and feeders, want to see Nicole go, but and all the wall yelling and banners and stuff like that. I don't think it's done enough right now. I'm not trying to incentivize anybody, but I think if you're hoping that that's where it's going to go this upcoming week, I think there are other people that are more dangerous in this game than Nicole. Right now, as far as she's played, she's not going to win this game by playing 4 weeks where she's won nothing and hasn't really influenced anything. That right now, Nicole is a person that you can beat at the end. No one is going to give her a second win with what she has offered yet. Cody and Tyler are playing this game really well. They are the people you don't want to sit at the end with.
They really are the danger. They are the ones who are knocking right now.
They are.
Only way I really even see Nicole in somewhat of danger is if we have a Bailey or a Davon, because she's not technically in the Slick Six, despite whatever DANI may have tried to pull on the show. And by the way, one last thing I'll say, I'm curious about this David, Kevin, alliance that we saw on the show last night that we didn't know about before.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it makes sense. I mean, David really is on the outs, and he does need to build something with somebody. It's just, I think Kevin knows that it's important to have him as a number, but to not really tell him anything. Just don't tell him anything, Kevin. You've been on the upswing. You are figuring things out. Please don't tell David anything.
Don't do this to us. We've had an exciting couple of days with drama. We're not excited about Kaysar leaving, but we've accepted that at this point. But unless there's a twist. Let there be a twist. But okay, what do you guys think is going to happen on the show tonight? Give us your predictions for HoH, your feeling about the playing banners, and more in the comments. And if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, support us further. Check those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.